The FBI is assisting in the search for a missing teen from northern Wisconsin as investigators look into the death of her parents. Months after a fatal explosion destroyed downtown Sun Prairie, that community gathers for a celebration. And Badgers fans are having a happy homecoming after a snowy and then sunny win against Illinois.
This is News 3 at 10.
Good evening and thanks for watching News 3 at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. The Brewers are currently battling for their spot in the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers at Miller Park. Game 7 of the NLCS is currently in the bottom of the 8th with the Brewers down. Dodgers are winning 5-1 right now. We will have an update on the game later on in the show. And Badgers fans are celebrating after today's homecoming weekend win against their Big Ten rival of the South, Illinois. They saw plenty of snow and plenty of sun and were able to pull out a victory, winning 49-20. Jay Wilson will have more on the Brewers and the Badgers coming up in about 20 minutes. Police are continuing to search for the Wisconsin teen who has been missing since her parents were found dead in their home earlier this week. Investigators say they were able to track the initial 911 call to the cell phone of 46-year-old Denise Kloss. Denise and her husband, 56-year-old James Kloss, were found dead in their home in Barron when officers arrived just after 1 a.m. on Monday. Their daughter, 13-year-old Jamie Kloss, was not home when police arrived. An Amber Alert was issued on Monday afternoon. Investigators are continuing to search for more clues into the motive behind the homicide and any suspects. If you have any information, you can call 911 or the Barron County Sheriff's Department at the number there on your screen. The FBI is assisting with this investigation. Madison police are investigating a complaint of shots being fired on the city's south side last night. It happened just after 11 in the 2100 block of Luann Lane. That's where just near the Beltline, just west of Fish Hatchery Road. When officers arrived at the scene, there was no sign of a disturbance, but police later learned of a possible fight involving more than 20 people in a parking lot of a bar in that area. Right now, Madison police say no one was injured and nothing was damaged, but they are still looking for people involved. An Evansville man is now facing his 6th OWI charge after being pulled over for speeding. It happened around 7 tonight in the town of Rutland when a Dane County Sheriff's officer witnessed a vehicle traveling 17 miles an hour higher than the posted speed. The driver of the vehicle, Kendall Copus, was pulled over. The Dane County Sheriff's Office said Copus had a revoked driver's license and 5 previous OWI convictions. After field sobriety testing, Copus was arrested on a felony charge for his 6th OWI. He was taken to the Dane County Jail. We have a first alert traffic note to let you know about. We're taking a live look right now at I-90. Things are going pretty normal right now, but this after a fatal crash happened earlier today near mile marker 91. The Wisconsin State Patrol says it happened just after 3 o'clock in the eastbound lanes near Xanadu Road. Deputies confirmed one person died in the accident involving 2 vehicles. All of those lanes were blocked at one point with traffic backed up for hours. Investigators are looking into what caused that crash. Downtown Sun Prairie is now reopened after a fatal explosion leveled blocks of businesses in August, and the city is now celebrating. The downtown area opened just in time for the annual Sun Prairie Fall Festival earlier today. The community gathered there for the first time since that explosion for music, food, and a variety of activities. To the owner of a craft store that remains closed in the wake of the disaster, this festival is helping her keep hope that her business will survive.
You start to wonder, oh, am I doing the right thing? But you want to do the right thing for your business. So seeing this go on in the street lets me know that this is definitely what we need to be doing.
She says it could take a month or longer for her business to open in its new facility. Wisconsin farmers are busy this weekend taking part in a historic harvest as some get ready to send their hemp plants off to processors. The state launched a pilot program this year requiring farmers to become certified to grow hemp. 250 farmers are licensed to grow it and more than 1,800 acres were planted this year. DATCAP tests hemp plants to make sure they have less than 0.3% THC. That's the psychoactive chemical found in marijuana. This is the first time since the 1950s Wisconsin farmers have been allowed to harvest hemp. Communities and businesses across the state are now getting assistance with flood recovery efforts following the devastating rains in August and September. The Small Business Administration will begin offering loans to businesses, nonprofits, and homeowners as part of the federal government's disaster declaration for Wisconsin counties. Homeowners can borrow up to $200,000. Businesses and nonprofits can borrow up to $2 million. Loans may be increased if the money is going toward efforts to prevent future flooding damage. That is the Jimmy's playing. They were at Capitol Brewery earlier today along with Madtown Manish Boys playing at a fundraiser for the Pheasant Branch Conservancy. It's one of the areas still working to recover from flooding there. The Conservancy saw $2.5 million worth of damage. All proceeds from the Capitol Brewery event will go toward the ongoing restoration of the Conservancy. People in Middleton are asking for donations to help a woman and her farm recover from August's devastating floods. Penny Klein has been instrumental in developing the city's award-winning trails and parks. She retired just last year after 16 years as the city's public lands director. The community has already exceeded a $10,000 goal to help her recover. If you'd like to help, Club Tavern is hosting a spaghetti and meatball dinner and silent auction tomorrow to support her. That starts at 2 o'clock and runs until 7. All right, let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield with your first alert forecast.
Hey, Amanda, what a day. Kind of a postman forecast with rain, snow, sleet, really everything under the sun showing up across southern Wisconsin at times. Right now, though, we are much quieter on Doppler track compared to about 10 to 12 hours ago. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at mostly clear skies. Currently down to 31 degrees, north-northwest wind at 3 miles per hour, so that wind has calmed down and temperatures have really fallen quickly with the clear skies and light winds. 28 right now in the Dells, 24 in Camp Douglas, 21 in Black River Falls, 30 in Lone Rock, and 29 in Boscobel. So that wind shouldn't be a problem tonight, maybe a little bit breezy tomorrow. Right now we're looking at northwest winds at about 5 miles per hour. Your day planner showing those temperatures in the mid to upper 40s for highs with plenty of sunshine for our Sunday. And the breeze a little bit on the strong side during the afternoon, but not too bad, especially compared to today. We'll talk about a sunny stretch and when we could see some snowflakes once again in Madison. Your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave. The Saudis are now acknowledging that Washington Post contributor and U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Turkey more than 2 weeks ago. Kenneth Craig reports from New York.
The official account from Saudi Arabia is that Jamal Khashoggi, a critic of the royal family, died during a fight at their consulate in Turkey. But for days, the Saudis denied any involvement in his disappearance. The kingdom arrested 18 people, including a top aide to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, in connection with his death. President Trump called the arrests a big step.
No, I'm not satisfied until we find the answer, but it was a big first step.
Trump told a group of Arizona business leaders Friday that he believes the Saudis' explanation.
Saudi Arabia has been a great ally, but what happened is unacceptable.
A pro-government newspaper released photos of Mahar Abdul Aziz Mutreb walking into the Saudi consulate 3 hours before Khashoggi entered the building on October 2nd. He hasn't been seen since. Photographs also show Mutreb outside the Saudi consul's residence and at Istanbul's airport later that day. Former Vice President Joe Biden criticized the Crown Prince and the investigation.
And now, MBS in Saudi Arabia, who I know, my Lord, he's making excuses.
The editorial board at the Washington Post, where Khashoggi worked, is calling for the United Nations to conduct its own investigation into his death.
Kenneth Craig for WISC News 3.
Khashoggi's remains still have not been found. Thousands of Central American migrants who are trying to get into the U.S. are still being blocked at Mexico's southern border. Mexico is allowing some women and children in at this time. Some others avoided the mostly deadlocked bridge by going under it. They used makeshift boats, not much more than inner tubes and plywood. Members of the caravan say they're fleeing violence and seeking economic security in the U.S. Federal police were there at the border to keep order, but not detain anyone crossing illegally. At least one person has died since the caravan started after falling from a vehicle. The group that was once estimated to be more than 3,000 people is now estimated to be a third of its size. With just 3 weeks to the November elections, President Trump is making stops across the country for a series of rallies, and he will be here in Wisconsin next week. Trump will be in Mosinee Wednesday at the Central Wisconsin Airport. That's just outside of Wausau. Governor Walker and Republican U.S. Senate candidate Leah Vukmir will be at the event alongside the president. Walker is running against Democrat and State Superintendent Tony Evers. Vukmir faces Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin. The president is back in the White House tonight after his visit to Nevada for a rally. He will have a rally in Houston on Monday before coming to Wisconsin. Now that event here starts at 6:30. And former President Barack Obama is also coming to Wisconsin. He will be in Milwaukee on Friday for a campaign rally supporting Evers, Baldwin, and other Democratic candidates. U.S. Representative Gwen Moore and Democratic congressional candidates Randy Bryce and Dan Cole will be there with Obama. The location and time of the event have yet to be announced. If you're feeling lucky tonight, you may want to swing by a gas station and pick up a lottery ticket. The Mega Millions jackpot is now at a world record for a lottery at $1.6 billion. After there was no winner in last night's drawing, the next Mega Million draw will be on Tuesday. This jackpot comes a year after organizers made a move to lower the odds of winning in an attempt to generate larger prizes. The Powerball is at nearly $500 million. Coming up next on News 3 at 10, beer and bats. Sounds like a combination made for Halloween. We'll tell you about the event at the Cave of the Mounds that was more fun than fear right after this. Welcome back. Female veterans from across the state met today to discuss the unique issues that they face. The 27th annual All Services Women Veterans Luncheon welcomed members from all branches of the military. They discussed issues ranging from gynecological care at the Wisconsin VA to representation in the veterans organizations. According to Wisconsin Woman Veteran of the Year, Kimberly Graff, the event is really about learning from each other.
Every demographic has a different experience with the military, and I feel like women have a very unique experience with the military that only we can really talk about. And just kind of having that camaraderie that, you know, even after the service is definitely valuable.
Veterans dating back to World War II were in attendance today. After a handful of complications, Magic Maniacs gathered in Jefferson today for the annual Warriors and Wizards Festival, despite the headlining Harry Potter characters canceling their appearances just a few weeks before the festival. The event went on, but the weather was less than ideal for some of those fans.
Even with the enthusiasm for the event, it is just really windy, lots of hail, and we're kind of braving it out, I guess.
Patience is one of the vendors that has been at the event for several years. She said it was clear which Wizards and Warriors were from Wisconsin, from the fanatics who had made the trip from out of town to the festival. And some people took shelter from that weather inside of a cave today for this month's Cave After Dark event. The Cave of the Mounds hosted Rocktoberfest, a chance for adults to explore the caves with a beer in hand. Visitors were able to taste 6 Oktoberfest beers brewed around the state as they took a tour of the cave. Mike Cahill was there playing live music. The next Cave After Dark event is happening November 17th. At next month's event, you will be able to taste Wisconsin cheeses paired with Wisconsin wines. Sounds very cool. My kind of event.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever you could do to get out of those snow squalls,
Yes.
I mean, whether it's hide in a cave, I guess that's one option, or maybe just go inside a store for a little while, because these were pretty fast moving, and that's the nature of snow squalls. Check out this picture from Gary in Middleton. It looks like a snow globe outside. Someone shook the Wisconsin snow globe a little bit early, but still, it was quite the experience, whether you were looking outside or caught in it. Here's our time lapse in Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. A couple of rounds of very intense snowfall before everything calmed down, and we've all forgot about it already because everything that did fall melted within the span of an hour. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, we are clear and we are cold outside with temperatures in the 20s. Today, though, highs did make it into the upper 40s. That was very early on this Saturday, so kind of cheating a little bit. Normal is still about 10 degrees above what we experienced today, and we experienced our first snow. For many of us, our average first trace is October 25th, so this will go down as a trace of snow because that was around long enough to actually be measured. Our first measurable snow is November 5th, and our first inch of snow in Madison usually around November 18th. Today's trace, not the record. We actually did have not a foot of snow. Wow, that wishful thinking on some parts, but a half of an inch of snow. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Back in 1989 in Madison on this day. 31 in Madison, 30 in Janesville. Very chilly outside and a cold night ahead of us, much colder than this time yesterday. Doppler track, though, is remaining quiet and wind speeds have calmed down. And that's good news because they were really kicking out of the north and west at about 40 to 50 miles per hour throughout the afternoon. And that's good news. It will be cold, but for the next couple of early mornings, good visibility outside to hopefully see some meteors as part of the Orionid meteor shower. Just get that moonlight out of the way. We don't want to see that. That helps obscure things. So right in the early morning hours, best time to see that. Tonight, mostly clear and colder, temps in the mid-20s. For tomorrow, mostly sunny, becoming breezy once again, and chilly, highs in the upper 40s. So I think things stay relatively quiet with highs in the upper 40s tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine. Then starting off in the 30s Monday with highs in the mid-50s as we head into later portions of Monday. Could be some gusty winds at times on Sunday, but by the time we get to Monday, those winds finally calming down across southern Wisconsin. 7-day forecast showing the 50s in town for an extended stay and plenty of sunshine to start us off for the work week. Chance of some rain and some more snow showers possible by the time we get to next weekend.
That was fun today, but happy to see those 50s there.
You sound so enthusiastic.
All right, thank you, Dave. The Badger football team beats the Snow and Illinois at Camp Randall. That story coming up in sports.
News.
It's Game 7 of the National League Championship Series at Miller Park. Tonight's winner between the Dodgers and Brewers will head to Boston to start the World Series Tuesday. Right now, they're in the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-1. Cody Bellinger, a 2-run homer. Yasiel Puig, a 3-run homer. It's getting late. 2 down, bottom of the ninth. 5-1 Dodgers at Miller Park. Well, the other big sports story of the day was at Camp Randall, where the Wisconsin Badger football team got back on track with a 49-20 win over Illinois. It snowed during the game. Badger punter Anthony Lottie's from Georgia, so he didn't have a whole lot of experience in this snow, but he eventually did get that punt away. Badger defense had a great day creating turnovers. They got 5 of them, including 3 interceptions. This one by former Edgewood High School star Evan Bondoc. Even 330-pounder Olive Sangapolu got a pick today. And Wisconsin's offense capitalized. Alex Hornibrook went over 5,000 yards for his Badger career, 3 touchdown passes. One to Jake Ferguson, one to Alec Ingold, and one to Kyle Pennison. The Badgers rolled up 357 rushing yards. Jonathan Taylor had 159. Tywan Deal, 111 and 2 touchdowns. The Badgers do what we figured they'd do. They beat Illinois, 49-20. Badgers moved to 3-1 of the Big Ten West. Nice bounce back for Wisconsin after that loss at Michigan last Saturday. Here's Kevin Lewis with our postgame report from Camp Randall.
The game went from cool to cloudy to rainy to a snow globe to sunny in less than 3 hours. But just like the weather, we saw a little bit of everything from the Badgers as they put up a season high in points and a win.
They need to step in. They need to step up, and they've been doing that. And certainly, there's areas we can get better. But I'm proud of the way they battled and fought through. Really, everyone. That's the response is as important as to what happened. And I thought there was a number of people on all sides of the ball that responded.
No, I think we did great, especially that first half. Putting our offense in great positions, especially plus 40 a couple times. So giving them the ball with a short field is always our goal.
Now, don't call the overreaction police, but if you want to call Alec Ingold Mr. Touchdown, you can. He averages a score every 5.5 times he touches the ball.
We think we got a good scheme. What we saw on tape all week really came to life, but I think Coach Settle hit us on early was, you don't score 49 just rolling out of bed. You got to make it happen, so we were able to do that today.
Alec did a great job as always. On those third downs when we need him, and he got in the end zone a couple of times, and Taiwan just runs really hard. That's something he's done well all year, and he definitely did it today.
The Badgers run their winning streak over Illinois to 9. They keep their lead in the Big Ten West as they get ready for a tough road trip to Northwestern next week. At Camp Randall, I'm Kevin Lewis, News 3 Sports.
The big game in the Big Ten today, Michigan at Michigan State. Things got going before the game when Michigan State walked through the Michigan players warming up. Michigan's Devin Bush got so riled up, he wanted the big Spartan logo at midfield, started tearing it up. Once all the testosterone settled down, Michigan rolled. Shea Patterson with a couple of touchdowns. Michigan wins the Paul Bunyan Trophy 21-7 over Michigan State. Here's the rest of the Big Ten football scores today. Penn State holds off Indiana. Iowa shuts out Maryland. Northwestern stays a half game ahead of the Badgers with a tough win at Rutgers. Nebraska wins its first game under Scott Frost. Purdue leads second-ranked Ohio State in West Lafayette in the fourth quarter. And WISC football today. Whitewater rolls 44-7 over River Falls. The Warhawks now 7-0. A different story for Platteville. The Pioneers suffer a home loss to Eau Claire 40-16. At WIA State girls team tennis, Madison Memorial made it to the Division I semifinals before DSHA beat the Spartans 4-3. Division II, Edgewood lost its semifinal match to University School of Milwaukee. And the Badger men's hockey team in Canton, New York, playing the second half of its Eastern swing. It's a good night for Wisconsin. 7-1 win over the Knights. Next weekend, the Badgers are back home at the Kohl Center to play Michigan Tech, and the Dodgers have beaten the Brewers. They're going to the World Series. And we'll be right back.
We had an interesting day with the snow, then the sun.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Much calmer tomorrow. I think we can take a sigh of relief, but it's going to be a chilly sigh, at least a chilly start to the day, because temperatures are going to be in the mid-20s to start Sunday. But then highs should make it back into the mid to upper 40s. Plenty of sunshine. The breeze much better, although maybe a little bit gusty tomorrow afternoon. Your 7-day forecast showing the 50s. An extended stay of them on the way for next week. Plenty of sunshine Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Some rain and snow showers possible by the weekend.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.